Hello and welcome. This is Tanya Brown, your spiritual business coach. And today we're going to talk about money, your money beliefs, and how to unlock your unlimited potential when it comes to money. And this is all tied into your money beliefs. So here's the thing. A lot of times we don't realize that we have a money story that's kind of passed down to us from childhood. Stories that our parents tell us, things that we kind of hold on to that just kind of takes us into adulthood. Um, and these are one of the things that we're going to talk about on today's show. One of my money stories was the fact that there was always money for the things that I need and desire, and that served me very well growing up. But then it also served me very well when I got into adulthood, because that kind of became my manifestation mantra without realizing it. I remembered if I needed something or I wanted something, when I was a working adult, I would, I'm going to go on vacation. I don't know how I'm going to get the money, but I just, am going to. I always have money for all the things that I desire. That became my mantra, and I remember just thinking back to childhood. I had all the things that I needed, all the wants, the basic things that you need as a child. But when there were anything else that I desired, there was never a issue with me getting it, And then as I got older, I would get a job, a part-time job to help me with the things that I desired. But that was my mantra. There was always I always had money for the things that I desired. And like I said, that worked into my manifestation. But then I remembered and coming across so many different people who, one person who's coming to mind, she grew up in a big family, a ton of siblings, but they were always poor. That was the mindset that the family, and I'm not saying that they weren't poor, the family was very much entrenched in that, to the point they had so many siblings and they didn't have health care, consistent health care, that I remember she told a story that when one of the kids got sick, they were afraid to tell the parents. Now, I remembered being on the other side of that, to the point where we had such great medical care that my parents happy to take me to the doctor to kind of justify the medical care. But I'm not trying to make light of this. It's just your money stories kind of go into your future. I was just having a conversation with a client the other day when we were comparing our money stories. And, she was saying, she's an immigrant, and she comes from two hardworking immigrants. And their mentality was for her to go out and get a good job. Go to college, get a degree, and get a good job in the traditional sense, not be an entrepreneur. But the thing was, her money story was adopted from her parents. There's never enough money for this. She said that she basically had a panic attack because she bought a Roomba, and her mother was just kind of like, oh my God, you bought that as opposed to you got a broom. Like, what do you need that? That was just crazy. But it's about uncovering, learning what your money stories are, and thinking, how is this serving you? So first thing I want you to focus on is, what is your money story? What do you tell yourself day in, day out without even thinking about it? And sometimes you can ask your friends this question. I like asking my friends some of these questions because a good portion of the time they'll say something to you. You're like, oh, do I say that? I had asked my friends a question and they all basically said the same thing. Different people I asked at different times, they all responded to the same thing. And it was like, wow, I didn't realize that was me. I mean, it was a favorable response, but a lot of times we don't realize what's right in front of our faces. So that will help you with your money story if you don't already know it. And also, starting to change your money beliefs, looking at your accounts is a very good action to do. Case in point, when I started looking to purchase a condo, buy real estate, I remembered, doing the normal things, getting your credit report and looking at your finances to figure out, how much you could afford. But I remembered being very conscious to see, where is my money going? And that's actually was the example that I wanted you guys to do as well. One of the ways to be conscious of your money is okay, let me take it back for a minute. One of the ways to demystify your money issues is to be upfront and be conscious of where your money's going. And in this example, what I did was I started to keep, and I love this example because I was actually sharing this with a client a month ago. I started to wonder, where's my money going? I started to do an Excel spreadsheet to figure out where's my money going. And I did this by not charging anything and paying cash for a month, not whipping out my card to just run my credit card or my debit card on something, paying cash, because sometimes when you're swiping all the time, the reality of the payment doesn't really hit you. When you're paying cash, the reality hits you. So this is what I did. I started to just pay cash for everything for a month and keep receipts. At the end of the month, I just did an Excel spreadsheet with all my receipts. Now, this may sound cumbersome, but it actually was very easy to do. And when at the end of the month, I did an Excel spreadsheet and itemized where is my money going. So say I'm making $10 a month, just to keep an even number, $10 a month or $100 a month, whatever. And then I started to look, okay, how much am I spending in bills? How much am I spending in food? How much am I spending in utilities? How much am I spending in rent? I literally mapped all this out. And I was flabbergasted because I was seeing how much I was spending on fluff and how much I was bringing in. And there was a huge shortfall. Like I was spending much more than I was bringing in. And that was because I was swiping for a lot of things. So when I started to get very conscious of how much am I spending on certain things, and this actually, once I started to do a review on where my money was going, I started to take action. Like, I'm not eating out every day. I'm going to start cooking myself. Okay, that was short-lived, but I did. But the point was, once you're clear on where your money's going, it takes away the mystery of, it makes you more conscious of what's going on in your funds. And it got to the point where I was very conscious of how much I had in my accounts. I would just look at my accounts on a daily basis and not be afraid. And I was very clear on what I expected and what I anticipated. And the more I did this, the more I felt confident in terms of my income. I knew how much was in my savings account, how much was in my checking account. I knew how much I was spending. I also knew how much fluff I had. So I didn't feel like I was rigid in any way, shape, or form. I mean, yes, I had to be rigid in the beginning to just kind of get a hold. It was like almost like a lasso around my budget to figure out, well, what am I spending? But here's the thing. Like I said, to demystify the situation, you need to know where your money's going. So first of all, let's focus on your money story. I'm sorry about the lighting, but focus on your money story. What is the story that you've been telling yourself or your friends or what your family's been telling you? Because a lot of times you adopted those stories as your own. And what is the truth? Let's look at your money. How much are you bringing in and how much is going out? And are you honoring your money properly by not just spending it willy-nilly? Do you know where your money is going? See, that was my thing. I was in the process of trying to buy a home, and I really didn't know where my money was going. I knew that I made good money. I mean, anybody who has a job makes good money, but I didn't know where my money was going. And once I started to see the reality of the situation by, again, keeping receipts for daily, just shoving them in my purse or my pockets, and at the end of the day, just putting them in a box. That's actually a little what I did. Put it in a box at the end of the day and at the end of the month. Amortizing, okay, doing an Excel spreadsheet, which I love doing Excel spreadsheets because it gives you a good idea as to where your money's going and where the bulk of your income is going. And I think a friend of mine, her husband did this years ago, just as an example to kind of teach her. But for this was just a great way for me to see how much am I spending? And I don't think I know, I was very shocked to discover I'm spending a lot more than I'm bringing in, which not to make me a unicorn or anything, but that's actually normal. When you don't know what your income is, when you're not paying attention to the money you're bringing in and the money that's going out, it's easy for you to get messed up. So once I started to get control of my income and take action and look at where the money's coming in, where the money's going out, and stopping where I needed to stop the money going out, and being more conscious of what's coming in and where I'm sending it. So that's my part. That's my point with this video. I want you to be conscious of your money and your income, and knowing what your money stories is, and making sure that your money story is working for you. Like I said, my money story was I have money for all the things I desire. I used that and didn't realize I was using that as a mantra when I was an adult, when it came from me manifesting things. I didn't worry about it because I knew if I needed it, I would make and find the money for it. And I did, financially speaking, sometimes to the detriment of other things. But now, once I started to get clear on it, I know how much fluff I have. I maintain a healthy balance sheet because I make sure that I have money for fluff as money for the must-haves. Like rent, income, mortgage, utilities. Yeah, I don't worry about that because I make sure that that money is there. And I also know that I have a certain amount to spend on just fun, going out to dinner, going shopping. I'm not going to be a nun about my finances, but I am going to make sure that I know where they're going. So, as I said, I wanted to just kind of pop in here and help you with your money beliefs, so you can use them to help you with your abundance. So, as always, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to comment in the comment section because I would love to hear what your money beliefs are. So, as always, and don't forget to share this video with someone you feel could benefit from this. Because again, you know what? We're having your demystifying your money and making sure that you are unlocking your potential abundance is key. As always, this is Tanya Brown, your spiritual business coach. Looking forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.